Someone help!
These are human lives! That says wrong! They have families, children! They're our friends and we're watching them!
Not subscribe.
Car D Kaizoku.
This video is sponsored by gumgum.gg. Discover the latest OP10 deck list on gumgum.gg, updated daily. Be the first to see decks for new leaders as they emerge. With over 1000 deck lists per set, gumgum.gg has all the top strategies as soon as they drop. This video is sponsored by Card Market, Europe's largest online marketplace for trading card games. Alright, Nationals just happened, OP09, really big nationwide tournament. And yeah, all the deck lists and stuff is already available thanks to Eggman Events, shout out to him. Always on top of it, like very next day all of this was available. So I thought it would be a good time to take a look at OP09 as a whole. All 2 tournaments, there's been one Treasure Cup and then the Bandai Card Fest National Finals. So yeah, not too much to pull from, but we can start to see the inklings of a meta growing. And we'll see how that differs from what we see in like the ranked data. So yeah, between these 2 tournaments, the top 8s for both tournaments, it's 6 unique leaders. We have Shanks, Monkey D. Luffy, the black-yellow one, Doflamingo, Blue Doflamingo, Purple Luffy, Rob Lucci, and Bonnie makes up the top 8 from both of these tournaments. We see the play rate of Doflamingo takes up 31% of this pie here, right, at 5 decks out of 16, followed by Purple Luffy at 4, and then Rob Lucci at 3. I do believe 3 of these are from the finals in Orlando, actually, not from the other tournament. Actually, I could check real quick. I know at least 2 Luccis are from the Orlando finals. Yeah, they're all 3 from the Orlando finals. So I figured we'll take a look at each leader and then take a look at the cards that they commonly run in their respective decks and try to see if we see anything interesting from that. So yeah, the one Shanks list here. I guess if there's like a 1 of, it doesn't really make sense because it's all going to be like average placement of the playstat that deck got and then 100% usage for all the cards. So we'll just skip to something interesting like Doflamingos, right? So we can see all blue Doflamingos run Boa Hancock, Raging Tiger, Pudding, right? Pudding is no longer a tech card. It does seem to be pretty mandatory in the current meta. Buggy, Teach, they all run Teach. I was wrong on this card, I'll admit. But it's only because I didn't play this deck too much. I haven't made a deck breakdown in 09 for him too, right? It's kind of like the deck that it's like, because he's meta, I have to like talk about him, but I don't particularly like playing the deck. But yeah, Mihawk is included in all decks. Perona, yeah, these are all pretty standard. Where it starts to deviate is Femur. Only 4 of the decks ran Femur, so 1% was Femurless. Same with the 2K Counter Crocodile. Starter deck, Gecko Moria 2. I thought this might have been like an auto include. And for some reason, TCG players missing the starter deck images. I don't know what's up with that, but yeah. 1 guy did not run Gecko Moria. 2 did not run Jozu. Jozu's not an auto include. I believe Jonas also doesn't run Jozu, the one who got 3rd at the Orlando finals. And then Law, Bounce Law, not Bounce Law. Oh, technically it bounces back to your own hand, but what do you call this guy? Opponent bottom deck Law, 2K counter Law. Only 1 of them ran this. So yeah, it looks like not too much variation in a Doflamingo list. Let's take a look at the 4 Purple Luffy lists. So all of them run Kid, all of them run Luffy Taro, Gungam Giant, 9-cost Luffy. So these are expected. Where does it get spicy? Okay, so the Chump Blocker Robin, 3 of them ran it, 3 out of the 4, 75%. 2K counter for Nosuke 2. Mr. 2, not all of them run Mr. 2. A lot of you guys are like harping on like the price of this card. You guys make it seem like this card makes or breaks the deck. It's like the least consequential pick for the deck. You can easily replace these with this vanilla Usopp here and the deck still runs just as fine, right? I think a lot of you are like way too hung up on Mr. 2. The stuff you should be hung up on are like the how many Linlins you should run, how many 9-cost Luffy you should run if you want to run Kid versus Queen, not Mr. 2, in my opinion at least. And then, ooh, there was 1 person who did not run any Onamis at all. And then Queen's run in half the decks. Yeah, see, Queen, contentious pick. I'm a Queen believer, but I think the sweet spot is a combination of Kid and Queen. At the moment, that's where I'm leaning. And yeah, 2 of them ran Usopp, the MVP card. I think he's really great into like Doflamingo, right? He doesn't just die on the clapback to their Perona or Buggy that they played on turn 1 like Mr. 2 does. And yeah, the 1 of starter deck 10 Law just to be spicy. And then the 1 guy who ran Slow Beam Sword. Anything to note between the Lucci lists? Let's see. They all ran Brook. He's like the best card in black at the moment. They all run Gecko Moria, of course. Where does it get spicy? So 2K counter Kaku, 2 of them ran it, 1 did not. Same with the 9-cost Kaido. I thought he might have been auto include at the moment just to play around Blackbeard, right? Or else you completely get countered by Blackbeard. At least have something you can do with this Kaido. But looks like 1 person didn't need it at the Orlando finals. Hina also tech pick in 2 of the 3 decks. I might have to explore that. Soap Sheep as well. And then the 2-cost Uta, this was in Caden's deck, the second place guy. We saw it on stream. I have a reaction to that on my channel too, so you can check that out. Finger Pistol too, one of Finger Pistol. And then Who's Who, also one of them. And then 4-cost Kuzan as well, interesting. And only 2 of them run Kaku. I thought Kaku might be auto-include too, just in the Doflamingo heavy meta like this. But yeah, some good insights here, right? These are potentially options you can include in your deck and test too. How about Bonnie? The 2 Bonnies, I doubt it's too different. So yeah, everything pretty standard except when it gets to the 6 and 5 drops. The freaking starter deck images makes it look so ugly when they don't show up. What happened, TCG player? Okay, so half of them ran the 2k counter from the starter deck. Half of them ran the 5-cost Bonnie. I'm saying half, but it's like 1 out of the 2. Then the Basil Hawkins too, the blocker, killer blocker, Viola. Yeah, these are all pretty techy options in the current state of the game, so it makes sense. So that's 09 in terms of like the leaders and the card choices. Let's take a look at deck prices. And yeah, we'll just take a look at the top 8 decks that placed at the Orlando Bandai Card Game Fest Finals Nationals. So yeah, the meta of that tournament was made up of 5 decks here. We see average price of each deck is in like the 200s range, it looks like. Yeah, overall average $204 for a meta top 8ing deck here, with the most expensive average deck being the Lucci deck and the cheapest one being the Doflamingo, the one of. And we can take a look at everyone's list just to see what it looked like. So let's go 8th to 1st, right? That seems like a good way to build up excitement. So 8th place deck, Silent Quack. Is that your name? Silent? That's cool. 8th place Jewelry Bonnie player. Total deck, if you want to buy the cheapest version of each card, is $146.54. Most expensive card as a set is this Cavendish, $82 for a full play set, followed by the starter deck Shanks from the Uta starter deck at $17 total. And I guess I gotta put the card names to differentiate what this card is versus this card. I'm guessing this is the Searcher Bonnie, and then this is the 2k counter Apu. But yeah, everything else in the deck is under $10 for a playset, so quite inexpensive now. Let's take a look at Nightloaf's Lucci deck. I think of the 3 Lucci decks, he's kind of in the middle. Yeah, he is. So most expensive card is a full playset of Brooks, $120 for that. Really, the largest chunk of the value in this deck is this Brook. If you remove this 120, it's like within line of the Bonnie deck. But after that, it's $27 for 4 Rebecca's, $23 for 4 Gecko Morias, $20 for a single Sabo. That's actually quite expensive, but luckily we do only need to run 1 these days, or maybe even 2, right? If the meta shifts back to Lucci and BY Luffy being on top, I do think the Sabo ratio might increase. He's just not a good card into like Purple Luffy or Doflamingo, or Blackbeard for that matter. And then after that, it's 3 copies of Jack for $10. It's pretty affordable. Hinas are like $5 for the cheapest one. And this is like the Judge version. So that must mean the regular starter deck version costs more than this. That's kind of weird sometimes where it works out like that. But yeah, this is Nightloaf's Lucci deck. Let's take a look at Tyranitar. Okay, they're not their real names. I realize that now. This is like their username. His Purple Luffy deck, $177 if you want to be a cheapo. I also have like the alt art price and then the bling price too, but I only care about the lowest printed version because I'm a base art B-word. So this deck, most expensive card, is a 3-of copy of the 9-cost Luffy, $54. 4 copies of the 2k counter Sanji is going to set you behind $42. 4 of the Usohachis is $27. That's quite expensive for a starter deck card. The 3 of the Linlands is going to be $11, and then 4 of the Luffy Taro is going to be $10. Wow, the Usohachi is like way more expensive than the Luffy Taro. I guess because the Usohachi can fit into like every single purple deck. Meanwhile, Luffy Taro is only for like just the decks that you can run the Zorojuros and the Sangoros too. But yeah, 3 Sanjis, 7-cost Sanjis are $10 too. So everything past Lunlin is quite affordable in the deck, right? The Gungam Giants are like $1 or something. Not bad, not bad. Let's take a look at SPZ Daniel's Luffy list. His is way more expensive, and I'm guessing it's because of the Mr. 2s. Yep, 2 Mr. 2s is $113. What the heck? This singular card. But yeah, if you can't afford Mr. 2s, like Tyranitar, topped using the vanilla Usopp, right? It's the most inconsequential pick of the choices you have to make in the deck that a lot of people are really hung up on for some odd reason. But this just goes to show you whether you're running the Usopps or the Mr. 2s, you'll be fine. Right, if you want to save $113, you could do it that way. Anything else different? No, everything else is kind of the same. So let's take a look at Andy Nguyen's Lucci. His is the most expensive Lucci deck, and it's because he runs an extra copy of Sabo. I believe that's the only difference here. Right, that makes up about like a $20 difference. Yeah, that seems to check out math-wise. Let's take a look at Jonas's Doflamingo deck, the cheapest deck up here of the 8. Most expensive card is a 4-of copy of Jinbei at $40. followed by the Perona. Peronas are like 15 bucks for a full playset. $16. Was that like $4 each? And then Weevil after that at like 350-ish. I can't do quick maths that quick. Slow maths. After that is the starter deck Boa, and everything else after that is under $10. So yeah, the starter deck for Doflamingo is gonna get you like most of the way there to building this deck, so it's quite cheap. I wonder why Usohachi is so much more expensive, even though they're both from like the same like cycle of starter decks. I guess these cards are only usable in Doflamingo and Boa Hancock. Maybe that's why. Then we'll look at K Strider. This is Kaden Kawakami. Oh, I didn't know that was your online handle. That's pretty cool. Strider. Okay, so second place Lucci deck is actually the cheapest Lucci deck. Does run a 1-of copy of Sabo here. Runs that spicy 2-of, 2-cost Uta. That's like $2 each. Yeah, I guess the difference is just the Sabo, because this costs just as much as the other Lucci deck here. Like $1 difference. And then the first place, Cross AI's BY Luffy list. $217 for the cheapest version. And I believe he ran like a base art version of the deck too, so this is probably how much his deck actually costs. So yeah, Sabo is the most expensive card. Full playset of 4 is $86, followed by the Egghead Luffy, which I'm never going to call Rocket Luffy. It's always going to be Egghead Luffy. 4-of, $35. Kakomoria after that, full playset 24. Then Flampes are like $5 each. That is a lot higher than I was expecting. But yeah, I think a lot of EV01 cards are just crazy expensive right now. The Searcher Garbs too are like $250. But you can get these cards in the starter deck. Same with the 5-cost Luffy. Raigos are like $4 each. And then, yeah, everything else is quite cheap after that. 4-cost Kuzans are like dirt cheap now because of PRB01. This guy used to be like $20, $30 a pop. Now he's like $2, less than $2. Oh, he runs the blocker Shirahoshi. Interesting. Minus 4 cost on play. Cool. Cool tech. And yeah, I guess that's it. Well, I guess if you wanted to know the total cost of each top 8 deck, min rarity added up, it's like $1,635 among these 8 players. So yeah, now you know that information. I don't know what you're gonna do with it, but yeah, I guess that's all I have for this video. Honestly, I just wanted to show off this like card gallery view thing. It lets me insert like HTML and CSS into my dashboard, so I'm gonna make it look a lot prettier. I have a lot more access to like customization options, so be on the lookout for more changes with that. But yeah, other than that, let me know what you guys thought of this video. What do you guys think of these top 8 deck lists here? I kind of made the meta call that like BY Luffy and Lucci were gonna rise in ranked play, and then in the end it percolated up to actual tournament performance, right? Just from when we looked at the matchup spreads and then the win rates, it looked like BY Luffy and Lucci always had strong matchups into the meta. It's just that people weren't playing it as much because they're like old news. People are just tired of playing the same old. But yeah, and when it matters in a tournament setting, they showed up. They're the first and second place deck. Yeah, like and comment. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Check out my other videos. Okay, bye.
Card D Kaizoku.